Hey, everybody, back with Eric Boone. Happy New Year, Eric.
Happy New Year.
All right. Every time we do a podcast, I always ask, how do you pronounce the name of your company?
Yeah, it's meristematics. That is a tricky one, but I admittedly I have a fairly limited target audience.
Yep. So, what's news? What's going on? Let's talk.
Yeah, well, I want to first of all thank you first and foremost for having me back on the show. Always like to talk analytics in this context, and I kind of wanted to just take a moment today to sort of review where meristematics fits in the overall ecosystem of the burgeoning cannabis industry. We're entering a great period of time right now where talk of national legalization is growing more and more. We're seeing a growing number of multi-state operators now that are vertically integrating. Certain states are allowing companies to vertically integrate more and more, and you're seeing a lot of consolidation starting to take place in the industry.
Yes, sir.
Still incredibly fragmented, and it will be that way for the foreseeable future because it's a great time to get in on the green rush. So you're going to see more and more companies coming online, and that's going to just make for more consolidation fodder down the road. But it also really highlights the need for some advanced analytics. So if I can just take a brief moment, I know we don't have a lot of time today, but I just like to sort of review the different levels of analytics and sort of where the industry is right now. Really where meristematics prides itself is on the fact that we've got a very old, very well-trained engine. We're actually the sister company of DemandLink out of Salem, Oregon. And we focus strictly on cannabis and hemp enterprises. But DemandLink's been around since 2009. They've done a lot of analytics for a lot of the largest greenhouses in the United States and North America, a lot of big box retailers. So this is an analytics engine that has been around the block plenty of times. And what it really is able to unleash because of its age and its sophistication, level of refinement, we're able to really dial in a very quick period of time, both predictive and prescriptive analytic output. And so to put that in context, right now, a lot of what we see in our industry is descriptive output. And that's great. It's powerful for making data-driven decisions. It describes what's going on in your business. So you've got an example would be a graph showing your sales over time. It allows your managers to identify potential trends that are happening. So if I've got a chart that's telling me, well, my Blue Dream sales have slid by 7 to 9% over the last reporting period. At the same time, my Bubba Kush sales are up by 5%. The logical conclusion is, maybe next time we want to order a little less Blue Dream, a little more Bubba Kush. That is data that allows your managers to make an informed decision. But then we start getting into the next level, which is predictive analytics. And instead of just describing what's going on, it's predicting, it's using what it described. It's taking a look at those patterns and extrapolating those patterns over time to predict what's going to happen in the future, making for very powerful. And I mean, we as humans do this too. We call it forecasting. But this is obviously on a much more sophisticated level. It's taking in a tremendous amount of data in order to generate much more specific output. And this has some tremendous applications in the cannabis industry as well. You're going to have, a better idea of what your consumer purchasing behavior is going to be at the retail level, for instance, well in advance of what that's going to be at the production level. Your growers can understand what the best cultivars are going to be to plant before they ever put a seed in the ground. And having a future sight of what's going on is really empowering, particularly for a vertically integrated business. It essentially takes that guesswork, a lot of that guesswork that we made that conclusion, well, let's order more Bubba Kush next time. That's still a crapshoot. And the predictive analytics help take some of that uncertainty out of the model. So then we get to I guess you could say the holy grail, or maybe the Rosetta Stone of analytics, and that is prescriptive. And that's where it's taking what you predicted and actually giving you quantifiable advice on what to do with that. We're deploying at this point, and it's not something you can just buy off the shelf. This is something that needs to be refined over a considerable period of time. It's highly refined algorithms that provide you, highly quantifiable business intelligence. A great example is that, it might be better just to sort of give a quantifiable example.
Sure.
Let's make up a California company, because I don't really want to use any hard and fast examples, but let's say we've got a California operator, allows vertical organization. They've got 2 greenhouses, 2 farms, 2 outdoor farms that are capable of both full sun and light deprivation. They've got a processing lab and, let's say, 8 retail locations up and down the coast. So they're capable of producing, indoor bud, outdoor bud, light deprived bud. They can produce extracts and concentrates of all of the above. They're capable of delivering a wide variety of products to, different consumers throughout the state. And maybe in order to get to that point, they bought up 2 other stores to expand their footprint. So they bought up 2 other companies, and that took them from 2 locations to 8. In order to really appreciate those economies of scale that they got by acquiring those other stores, you can deploy this engine, and it's going to take a look at all of your sales data. It takes a look at everything that you've absorbed from your retail sales. But the great thing about the Meristematics engine is it's also considering over 35,000 external factors: weather, traffic patterns, demographics, psychographics, financial earning information, just anything across 35,000 different factors, essentially the butterfly effect of analytics. And what we come back down to is essentially, a model that, instead of having your managers try to figure out how much product to send where, it's telling your greenhouses what to grow, because it understands what the consumer behavior is going to be in advance. It's telling you exactly how much product to send to which location, and finally, how much to charge for it. Like the price elasticity models are baked all into it. The end result is, we're able to start producing some of this output with as little as, 2 weeks of sales data.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your trading data is a fairly small footprint.
Yeah, I mean, we're assuming that, of course, that's going to be more refined if we've got access to more historical data. But the thing's been through so many different permutations at this point that it starts producing actionable output much more quickly than what we're used to seeing in the marketplace. So I guess the reason I kind of wanted to go through those all again is because we're not really seeing a whole lot of the latter two. And, and the cannabis industry, we seem to be one that kind of prides ourselves on our analytics. And a lot of what we're seeing is really in that descriptive output. And it's very helpful. I mean, descriptive output gives you a great bird's eye view of the industry. And the producers of the descriptive output are doing fantastic work. It's highly accurate, and it's a great way for investors to get a bird's eye look at the industry. It's a great way for larger managers to understand perhaps future M&A strategies, but we as an industry have failed to embrace at a high level exactly what predictive and prescriptive analytics can unleash. So I'm sort of here speaking from the top of the mountain, saying, hey, let's have conversations. Reach out to, I'm talking to those vertically integrated cannabis enterprises. Meristematics is open and ready for business, and we can produce, we're ready to put our money where our mouth is. And, it's time for the industry to step up. We're right on the cusp of legalization. And it's time for us to start to put on our grown-up pants and take our analytics to the next level. So
absolutely. And you're talking to the right guy. I've shared with you in prior podcasts. I had the good fortune of doing an analytics startup over by the Space Needle about 5 years ago in predictive analytics. Totally different realm, but I get it. Okay, I get it.
And I want to step back a little bit because I maybe presented this as a linear thing, like you progress from this to this to this, and it's really that sort of belies the more cyclical nature, as you know, of how these analytics work. And I see a lot of these large cannabis enterprises that are leaning a lot on their data departments, but they only have one of the 3 tools in their toolbox. And we offer these 2 other tools that I think really, really offer, because there are certain times where, the descriptive really it fits the bill. But in other times, you just got to dive a little bit deeper down into it. And I haven't seen a whole lot of it in the industry. So this is, I guess, a bit of a call to action. To my compatriots in the burgeoning cannabis and hemp industries.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to an update next time. Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you, Harry.
All right.